I'm just gonna be completely honest. Oh yeah, this is therapeuticmama.com. Subscribe to my channel. Okay, so I'm just gonna be like completely honest in this conversation right now because I am sweating. I'm sweating to talk about this. I'm literally like, you can't see it, which is great, but I'm sweating because I don't want to talk about this. But it's important for you and for me and for maybe women everywhere. So I'm going to talk about it. And everybody told me that I need to do a video on this and I hate them for it, but I'll do it. So, ta-da, I'm doing it. Ha-ha, ha-ha, ha-ha. That's right. That's what's happening right now. Everything's coming out of this dress. Do you know what this is? Do you know what this dress is? This is the dress that I wore to Miss USA 6 years ago. That's right. I was a little bit thinner then than I am now. I just had a baby, so don't judge me, or you can judge me, whatever. I'm fine with it. Yeah, I was Miss New York in 2010. In case you can't read the sash. And what just happened? What just happened? That's right. Donald Trump was elected president. That just happened. That actually happened. I live in Poland now, so I stayed out of it. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I said not one word about this entire election. I did not respond. I put a couple likes and thumbs up when people had something to say that I agreed with, but I stayed out of it. I didn't know what opinion I had. I didn't know how I felt about it because something was going on inside of me. There was this explosion building up inside of me, and I didn't know what it was. And when I read that Donald Trump won the presidency, it was like a volcano exploded and I wanted to like throw up. It was so strong, this feeling inside of me. I was so, I don't even know the word. I don't even know what I was. I was so that word that I didn't know. So I had to take some time to really think about what was going on. Like, what is this feeling? What is this like complete and utter despair, or this like hole inside of me that's feeling so like. And I realized, wow, what? I have like some unfinished business from this year as Miss New York. And I started thinking about some of the experiences that I had as Miss New York, and I remembered a few, and one stands out very strongly in my head. I was shooting with a very well-known photographer who is actually associated with the organization, and he kept calling me J-Lo. Like the whole session, he was like, "Hey J-Lo, go change your clothes, J-Lo. Let's do the next shoot, J-Lo." And I'm like, "What? That's not my name. Why is he calling me J-Lo this whole time? Like, what's the, you know?" I like to like joke around, so it was, I was like, "Okay, J-Lo, yeah, J-Lo." Like, I'm not even Latina. Like, why is he calling me J-Lo? So at the end of this shoot, he comes up to me and he grabs me under his arm and he's like, "Hey, girl," like this fatherly man giving me some advice. And he's like, "Just, I like you. You got spunk, girl." And I'm like, "Thanks." And he's like, "Just, I think you could win. I think you could take this whole thing. But I just need to tell you something. Donald Trump, he does not like a girl with a J-Lo butt." I'm just gonna tell you straight out that you're gonna have to do something about that J-Lo butt, because it's just not what's going on at the pageant. I mean, look at all these women here. And we were at this, there were other Miss contestants shooting with him, and he was like, "Look at all these other women here. Look at Miss and look at Miss, and look at, they don't have J-Lo butts, and you do. So you're gonna have to do something about that. Okay, you're welcome, girl." And he gave me this like fatherly pat, and I was like, thank you? What? Like, what am I supposed to take from that? Was that like, thank you. Okay, let me go and do something about my J-Lo butt. What? And I really, like, that was a moment for me that was so heartbreaking, if I'm just completely honest. If I'm just completely honest with myself, it was a heartbreaking moment in my life. And I didn't know how to be honest with myself at that point. I was like, oh, whatever, J-Lo butt, fine. I know I'm bigger than every other girl, but I won Miss New York, so why couldn't I win Miss USA? I mean, my butt's not that big. I mean, it's like, yeah, I played volleyball for 15 years. I'm going to have a big butt. I mean, and I kept having all these excuses, and I was frustrated with him, but I was also making excuses. I'm like, it's fine. J-Lo, everybody loves J-Lo. She has insurance on that butt. You know, that's awesome. So I'm just going to get insurance on my butt, and then it's totally fine. Like, what's the big deal, right? But there was a hole carved inside of me after that conversation, and I didn't know at the time. I didn't have skills to deal with these kind of conversations, especially with old men who just treat me like I'm a 5-year-old. So after that experience, I will be honest, I made some bad decisions. I chose quick paths toward losing my J-Lo butt. I wanted a quick fix, okay, I only have 5 months until Miss USA. I need to do something now. And I started to panic. And I ended up in the hospital, and I ended up with this huge rash all over my face. I broke out completely from the stress of it. I was exercising every day, and I got really sick. And my friends and family started to notice it, and they were like, is everything okay? Like, you're acting different. You're like really stressed out. What's the deal with you? You're not eating, and then you're eating like so much, and then you're not eating, and then you're eating so much. What's the deal with you? And then I was working with young women, which was funny. I was working with young women in the Bronx about body image and helping them, and I needed help myself. I realized very quickly after leaving the hospital and feeling just completely without any help, and just completely I don't even know the word. Helpless. That was the word. I felt just completely helpless, and I felt really sad about this wonderful experience that should have been this wonderful experience of being Miss New York, and it ended up being really hard. And I had to look at some real problems that existed inside of me in the mirror, because they were real. I had a real problem with food, and there was no joking through it. There was no, I'm J-Lo, just get insurance on my butt. There was no joking about that, because it was time to be real with myself. And when I said that, I started to ask, I told the universe, I'm like, universe, please, I'm really aware now that I have a problem. I didn't really want to see it before, but I'm asking for help. I don't know how, but if you can just help me, that would be really great. And a week later, because the universe is very smart and very quick, a week later, I met my husband, and I hired him to cleanse me. That's the best word. He cleansed me. He healed me. He said some really important things the first time we met. I told him, he asked me my goal. He's like, what are your goals? And he had a piece of paper. And I remember he just got off his bike, and he was wearing like biking shorts, and he was so skinny. And I was like, I want to be that skinny. That's what I want. I want to be as skinny as you are. And he looked at me, and he was like, okay, Miss New York wants to be as skinny as I am. All right. What do you feel is the problem that's going on with you? I was like, want to be skinny. I don't, I mean, how do I explain this to you? You know, for me, it seemed very clear. I want to be skinny and I want to be skinny and I want to be skinny now. So what are we going to do about that? And I'm looking at him and he's looking, and he looks back at me and he's looking at me and he's like, I can't help you with that. I can't help you with being skinny, but I can help you learn to love yourself, and maybe through that process you might lose some weight. Seriously, I almost cried because he was so serious and he was so honest and so humble in his words, and I had never heard that before. I had never had anybody take me under their arm and say, "Hey girl, why don't you love yourself? You're beautiful just as you are, and maybe if you believed that, you would be skinny." I didn't hear that ever. I always heard that you're too fat, or your legs are too big, or you don't fit the mold that Donald Trump put in the universe. And now what? That I had never heard, that you should love yourself. That was something new, and I was interested. I was really interested. I was like, okay, I want to love myself. I do love myself. You know, I was like, I do love myself. I'm cool. I'm funny. I'm really funny, because funny is important for bigger girls to be funny, you know, so I was funny. And he was not laughing at my funniness. He was very serious. He was like, I won't work with you if that's your focus. It's not my job to see how many pounds come off the scale. It's not my job. My job is to cleanse you. My job is to heal you from the inside out. And your skin problem, because I see it on your face, your skin problem will go away, because beauty comes from the inside. And I was like, oh, excuse me? This was just such a revelation. It's so clear to me now, 6 years later, after working with my husband every day. That's why I married him, because he was brilliant. How brilliant is that? It's so simple, and yet we as women we don't understand. We don't think about that. We don't realize that beauty is within. So after 1 month of cleansing with Irek, I lost 15 pounds. I like how I start with that. I didn't say like, I loved myself. I said I lost 15 pounds because for me, at that point in my life, that was what was important. That was the goal, and I accomplished it. But from that experience, I learned so much. I learned to trust myself. I learned that how good I feel is more important than how great I look. And when I feel really good, I look really good. And I never realized that before. I was so focused on how I looked that it wasn't important how I felt, and I did not feel good, ever. Especially with the bad choices that I was making. So when I went to Miss USA and I was 15 pounds lighter and I did not have that J-Lo butt anymore. Sorry, J-Lo, I love your butt. I must say, it's great, you know. But I didn't have it anymore. And this photographer looked at me and he was like, is that you, J-Lo? And I was like, that's me, sucker. That's right, this is me, this is me, this is Miss New York, this is J-Lo. What? And he was like, wow, wow. And he literally did that. He was like, wow, I'm so impressed. You actually took my advice. Nobody does that. Great job. And he really said to me, great job. And I was like, thank you. I feel great. I feel great. And I look good, but I feel great. I felt really great. So I moved to Poland. I got married. I was like, I'm not letting this man go ever. For one, he doesn't care what my legs look like or how big my boobs are. He does not care. He loves me for who I am. And that was amazing. So of course I married him. Would I be crazy not to? That'd be crazy. That would be just crazy. So I now have the best husband in the world, and I live in Poland, and I have 3 children, and I'm a mom, and I love my new job. I'm not Miss New York anymore. I don't have a crown. I don't get dressed like this every day, mostly because it doesn't really fit me anymore. So when Donald Trump came back into my life after I had changed so much, and I had so much to appreciate from this experience that he gave me, from winning Miss USA, from winning Miss New York, and going to Miss USA, and meeting my husband, and moving to Poland, Donald Trump gave me all of those things, because without this pageant, I would never have met my husband. I would not be in Poland. So I didn't have any reason to feel any resentment or any frustration toward him. I felt like, thank you. But when he won the presidency, I thought to myself, I was like, oh my gosh, there are so many young women in America who are going to go through the same experience I did, because they see a man in office who is the leader of our country, and they see how he sees women. And that made me so sad. It made me so sad, and it made me a little bit angry and a little bit depressed and a little bit But then I realized, just like I turned Miss New York into a sunny day because I met my husband, I wanted to turn this election into a sunny day because Donald Trump won. That's awesome. But he's not the president of my house. I'm the president. I'm a mom, and I'm the president of this house. I am a beauty queen to my children. And not just for 1 year, not just for 2010. Every day my kids tell me that I'm beautiful. And every day I tell them that they're beautiful. And my daughter will grow up not needing a pageant, because she doesn't need anybody to tell her that she's beautiful, because her mother told her every day. And my son will grow up respecting women. I hope, this is my goal, that he will grow up respecting women, not for how long their legs are and how tan their body is and how huge their boobs are. I really hope that I teach him that it's what's inside a woman that makes her beautiful. So I'm the president of my home. My husband's the president. We say what goes, not Donald Trump. So whatever, he can be president of America, because you and me, we rule this house. We don't have to worry about anything if we do our jobs well. So I'm going to challenge you to do your job well as a mother and as a father, so that your kids can wear this dress if they want to, but they don't feel like they need it to prove to people who they are. And they're not filling holes of sadness and depression because they don't know that they're pretty. I feel good. I feel like I look good. I don't even care that, seriously, my boobs are popping out of this. Milk is probably going to come spewing out at any moment, and I could not pin this. I'm just going to show you exactly what's going on here. I could not pin this. I could, even if I wanted to. This is how great Chef Edek is, because he made me lose this much weight. What? I don't even know how. Wouldn't even want to be this skinny again. I'm so happy with this, because I'm not a girl anymore. I'm a woman. I'm a mom. That's really cool. I'm a cool mom. I'm a therapeutic mom. Therapeuticmom.com. Can you subscribe to my channel, please? Can you like this video and subscribe to my channel so that I don't have just like 18 views, so that I have 18 million? Thank you.